Hello everyone, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing to you exactly how to build out a lead campaign on Facebook. Now this is going to be beneficial to anyone out there doing marketing agency. If you're a service-based business, a local business, this is going to be for you if your leads are your bread and butter, right? So this is a brand new ad account. So if you've just created an ad account, linked it to your business suite profile, this is what you'll see, right? And something that you want to be aware of, if you come in here and click on this green create button, it's going to come up with this. This is something that you want to sort out pretty much straight away. If you just press this button, it will take you to what you need to do. So first thing you need to do is verify your phone number, verify an email, and verify some business information, and add a payment method for the ads themselves. Now, here you have all the different campaign objectives. So in here you'll have leads, if you're doing e-commerce, sales, but for today's video, I'm just going to be focused on leads. I will be doing a different video showcasing all of these different ones, which are applicable for some industries more than others. Now, you don't want to mess around with this, just leave it on auction. Let's get into it. Now, I always recommend using the manual leads campaign. This is only really useful if you just don't have the time to learn Facebook ads. If you, I don't know, if you just want to set it and forget it, but your results probably won't be as good as if you were to do a manual leads campaign. So let's get into it. Let it load. Right. You want to name your campaign something, you want to have a bit of a template for these, right? Because if you, in the future, 1 to 2 years down the line, if you're running multiple different campaigns, you want to have a structure so you can know which campaign is for what service or for what offer or whatever the case may be. You want to have some sort of structure there. So you can use my structure if you so wish, but I normally have it so it's like landscapers, and then I might have something about the offer, and then I'll have the date, which is the 18th today, right? Obviously, if you are a landscaper, and I'd have maybe here, maybe just your offer or something along those lines, because you're not actually targeting an industry, you're targeting homeowners, right? And that's something I'll touch on in just a little bit. But essentially, don't have to mess around with this. Buying type is auction, campaign's objective is leads. Now, the way Facebook works is you are bidding for a space on their platform. That's why it's called an auction type. So if you picture I don't know if many of you go fishing, but if you picture a big lake and you're paying Facebook for a position on this lake, and depending on how much you spend, to how much you pay Facebook for a position at this lake, it depends on your plot size. Now, depending on your plot size, you can have multiple rods in the lake catching as many fish as you like. But essentially, the more you spend, the bigger your bidding type, the bigger your place on this theoretical lake is, right? And the more leads you'll get throughout. Campaign budget is something that you want to consider if you're going to have multiple ad sets, but you want Facebook to optimize for the winning ad set, right? But if you want to say to Facebook, look, I want to have multiple ad sets, but I want them each to have equal amounts spent on them, then you choose ad set budget. But for the sake of this video, and for the sake of keeping it simple, we're only going to have one ad set. Now, I get a lot of questions. What is the minimum I can spend on ads? And I would say it's about £10 a day. You can go to 5 if budgets are on a restriction, but £10 is normally what I recommend, not only for myself but for people that I talk to, for my clients. It's normally £10 a day, just to ensure that we actually get some results. Obviously, the more you spend, the more you get back, right? So if you were to spend £100 a day, your results would be a hell of a lot better. So that being said, bid strategy, don't necessarily have to worry about that in the beginning. Same with budget scheduling, ad scheduling. Don't have to worry about that until you have a higher budget, because until you have the data to back up changing these settings, you don't really want to play around with them. A/B testing is essentially where you're changing one variable at a time. seeing which ad creative, for example, performs best. Now, I don't know if many of you from the UK, but when I was going through school in science class, you have to keep every variable the same apart from one, to make sure that the test is actually um, going to work. And you can see, right, if I change this photo and this photo, which photo works best. But you can't change the text on both, right? Because then you won't know what variable led to that increase or decrease in performance. Special ad categories, you don't necessarily have to worry about these unless you are any of these. So financial products and services, employment, housing, social issues, or elections or politics. The majority of you out there don't have to worry about that. So this is your campaign level. Now we go to the ad set level. This is where you will determine your conversion location. So in this instance, we're going to be focusing on instant forms. For the majority of you out there, I'd recommend just going instant forms, especially if you're a beginner. It's just going to be the most simple for you out there. This is something that you want to be working in tangent with a CRM system though. So if you don't have a CRM system like Go High Level, I would probably recommend going Messenger, Instagram, or calls, right? Because Facebook is good at getting you leads. It's not very good about telling you when you've got a lead, right? And the thing, especially with a lot of cold traffic, which Facebook is, you have to really, speed to lead should be at the forefront of your mind, right? You want to be calling these leads up within 5 minutes of when they come through. And if Facebook doesn't tell you until the next day, your conversions are going to be affected by that. So we're going to leave it on Insta Forms simply because my next video is going to be covering how to integrate a CRM into Facebook, aka how to integrate Go High Level into Facebook effectively. Now, Facebook page, obviously you can choose the page that you want to promote. This is obviously my one, Azento. Here you'll also have when you start a new ad account and a new profile and whatnot, you have to accept the Facebook terms for that. It literally will just have a button here and you just click on it and you accept it. It's not hard to do. Performance goals, when you're first starting out on a fresh account, always maximize number of leads. Once you have a bit more data behind you and Facebook knows who your target audience is and who to actually target, you can do maximize number of conversion leads, but to be completely honest, I think maximize number of leads is probably going to be the best bet for the majority of you out there. Don't worry about cost per result goal, value rules. Don't worry about any of that. Dynamic creative, again, don't worry about any of that. Now, budget, as you see here, this is supposed to be £10, but we set it at the campaign level at 100. You just go back and change that. So £10. Come back into here. Now, a little bit of a tip for you guys. Always start your campaigns at midnight. Because if you think about it, Facebook will then have a whole 24 hours to evenly spread your budget for that day. So if you start it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Facebook will only have 3 o'clock till midnight to spend your £10, and it can be a waste, if that makes sense. So just be aware, just start it at midnight. It's just the better practice, basically. Budget scheduling, don't have to worry about that. Audience controls, broad targeting usually works a hell of a lot better than specific targeting, but we'll go into it anyway just to showcase to you what is available for you out there. Now, you can target the whole of the United Kingdom. If you're a marketing agency and you work inside the UK, then you can just come in here and just put in UK and it will target obviously Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, England, so on and so forth. If you are a local business and you just want to target a specific location, let's just for argument's sake put in London. Obviously be careful, it's not United States, London, England. Then we can go in and we can change the radius. So as you can see here, you've got this kind of blued out circle around it. If you come in here, you can scale it back or you can increase it to, I believe the maximum is 80. and then you can have pretty much the whole of southern England, basically. So yeah, I mean that's something to take into consideration. I know it says kilometers here, but I'm 99% sure this is in miles. I think it's because the UK is in Europe and Facebook, for some reason, doesn't register that we in England and Scotland and Wales use miles. But I'm 99% certain that this is in miles, just because if you have a look at that, for anyone in England, I'm pretty sure that's the ring around London, the M25, and I'm pretty sure that's 35 miles out. Right, you're almost in Chelmsford and Maidstone and whatnot. So yeah, that's for service-based business. If you have a local area that you want to cover, make sure you do this. You do not want to be targeting the whole of the UK if all you can service is within 30 miles, right? And another thing to be kind of aware of, if you're in a rural area, like, for example, it's just not going to do it now. Oh, we're up in God knows where, Greenland. If you are at the top of Scotland, right, you live in Wick, take it as an example, and yeah, there's just not many people in Wick, right? Let's just drop a little location in there. There's not many people in Wick, not many people surrounding in the surrounding area. Let's just get rid of London, right? There's only 8,000 people, right? And even if we increase that all the way to 80 miles, again, 75,000 people, right? It's just too low. And so Facebook ads probably is not going to be worth your time, right? Because you want at least 500,000 people in this estimated audience size for an effective ad campaign. Now, obviously, it depends what industry you're running and what kind of service you're running. If it's in high demand in your area, it might work very nicely, but it's something that you just got to test by yourself and really kind of consider, is Facebook advertising really going to be worth my time if only 75,000 people on the top end are going to see it, right? Obviously, if you're in London, you can have a 5 mile radius and you can have 1 million people, right? So a bit of give and play there, a bit of give and take. But yeah, just keep that in mind. I would not mess around with any of this, but I'm going to show you, if you switch to original audience options, what you can do with it. As I keep mentioning, broad targeting across the board of everything I've tested for myself and for my clients, broad targeting works 10 times better than specific targeting. What is specific targeting? It's this. So if you come into detailed targeting, you can add demographics, interests, or behaviors. So as a marketing agency, as I run a marketing agency myself, I target landscapers. So I would put in here landscapers. And then it would come in here. So it would have, let's just get rid of that. So it would have landscaping brackets gardening. And as you can see here, in here, the size of that interest is, 217,000, for example, right? And you can go in and add as many as you like. But as I keep mentioning, broad targeting, having no detailed targeting, no nothing, is just going to work 10 times better. So don't even touch this, right? I know I switched the original audience options. Just leave it alone. I think it'll work 10 times better for you if you just leave it and let Facebook kind of figure it out by itself. Placements, again, let Facebook handle that. You don't really want to mess around with it unless you have a specific reason to. But for the majority of you out there, I would just recommend leaving it. Now let's go on to the ad level. Again, you want to be naming these something like, photo or video with your offer that you're running in these ads, and then the date as well. Here, if you don't have an Instagram account connected, this will just use your Facebook page. I would always recommend just making an Instagram account regardless, because if you think about it, if someone looks on your ad and tries to looks at your ad on Instagram and tries to swipe onto your profile and it says, it takes them to Facebook, they're going to be a bit confused and it might not fill out the form, and it might just be a bit like, I don't know, yeah, I haven't got really a presence. If that makes sense. No brand on Instagram. So just make an Instagram account, even if it's an exact replica of your Facebook page. I'd just do it. I really would. Um, the ad setup. This is where you can add single image or single video. If you want a carousel ad, this is where obviously two or more scrollable images or videos are available. So I'm sure the majority of you out there know what a carousel is. You just scroll and there's different photos and videos and whatnot. Um, you can use a combination. I've found that sometimes single images work better, but carousels work better sometimes. It really depends what you have on these ad creatives, right? If you're again, if you're a local business, if you do I don't know, bathroom renovations or something like that, where you can showcase the progress of the project, like from the tearing out the old bathroom and kitchen, and then every swipe is a progression of the job. That normally works really nicely because people like progression. They like to see progress that you've made on the job, so they can see, okay, how would it look like for me, right? But if you're, I don't know, a marketing agency like myself, and you're just doing, um, a photo, if you made your own creative, then single image normally um, works on par with a carousel. I mean, you can make a carousel. I'm not saying you can't, but single image works just as fine. Obviously, videos, regardless of what industry, videos work better because it captures a lot more interest and it captivates the audience a lot easier than a photo would. Because again, if you think about it, when you're scrolling, you scroll through 1,000 images, and then a video pops up, it probably captures your attention a lot more than a photo would. So just keep that in mind. Overall, the quality of photo and video are of utmost importance. If you have a really grainy photo or a really grainy video, you're probably not going to get too much interest just because there's that lack of trust. It just looks a bit, not scammy, but like a bit fake almost. So just be aware of that. Now, destination, because we selected the lead form destination type, we can come in here and we can create a form. Now, this is something that I'm going to leave for another video because if I did it in this video, I think it would be a far, far too long video because there's lots of little tips and tricks that are required into making a effective form. So we'll leave that for another date. But essentially, all you have to do is just create form. You go on and create the form, and then it'll pop up here, and you can select it. Right? These are the ones that I've had in the past. Obviously, the majority of mine are archived just because I didn't want a massive list of all my forms. I've just archived the ones that I don't use anymore. Now, on these forms, you can add questions on there. So the important, I might leave this for another video because, yeah, I think if I start explaining it, it's going to take a hell of a long time for me to get through it. But that is the next video coming in the pipeline, so don't worry, it will be out in the next day or two, so you don't have to worry about that. This, I will just touch on this quickly. This is good if you want high intent people, right? Because the more steps you put in the process, the more friction, right? So you're going to weave out the tire kickers, the people who are just signing up for the shits and gigs of it. So this is their, again, quality filters if you want higher quality. But keep in mind, the more hoops someone has to jump through, the less people are going to jump through them, right? Now, add creative. Let's set one up quickly. Now, I'm just going to use one of my account images, so one of my Instagram posts or Facebook posts. Now, if you wanted to upload from your computer, you just click on this upload button and it brings up the files and you can upload from there. Same again, if you wanted to upload from your account, your business page, your Instagram page, your Facebook page, it's up on the top here. But if you wanted to upload from your computer, just click on that. So let's move forward with this image. Now, you want to keep it on original. I know for some of them, like this one here, it will look slightly odd because there's a lot to the sides and things, and you might think, oh no, that doesn't look nice. But watch this. You can't even read half the words, right? And if you have it going like this, I promise you, you won't get any results because people are just like, I can't even read it. So what's the point of me signing up? Or you can't even see the photo properly, or whatever the case is. So just keep it on original. That's always the best practice that I've found. Now, for the accompanying text, the ad copy, this is the description, the headline, everything that goes beside your ad, essentially. Now, there's a structure that I use to for myself, for my clients, and everything like that. Once you have a structure and once you have a prompt, you can use ChatGPT. Don't use ChatGPT. Don't just put into ChatGPT, make me a Facebook ad copy, because it will just pump out generic, not very good material. If you have a structure like the one I'm about to showcase to you, it's gonna give you a lot of better option, right? So the structure you want to follow is call out. Call out your target audience. So if you're a service-based business, homeowners, right? Or if you're a marketing agency, your target niche, whether that's landscapers, whether that's home improvement companies, whatever your target niche is, call them out in the first line. Then what you want to do is pain. And I don't mean go beat them up. I mean, have a little think about what are your clients' pain points, or what are your prospects, what are your customers' pain points. Again, if you're a service-based business, have a little think back about the past, 5 to 10 quotes that you've done for people. What was the main 3 reasons that they gave to you for wanting work done to their home, to their business, to their property? What was the main 3 reasons? And the reason why we have no more than 3, right, is because we don't want to stack the pain too much, right? The reason why we are stacking pain in the beginning is because people run away from pain much easier than they run towards a goal. I know that, you know that. We're all guilty of it as human beings. We run away from things that we don't like much quicker than we'll run towards a goal or a destination that we want to get to, right? If you think about it, if you went to the doctors and the doctor said you've got to lose, 5 pounds, otherwise you're going to die, you'd probably do it, right? But if you just decided, oh, I want to lose 5 pounds, you're probably not going to do it, right? That pain of the doctor saying, oh, you're most likely going to die if you don't lose this 5 pounds, is going to motivate you a lot more to go in that direction, because you're running away from that pain. You're running away from that fear. You're running away from that negative emotion almost, right? And then what we want to do is solution / benefit, right? The reason why I've put benefit, I'll tell you in a second. But we want to have maybe 2 to 3 solutions / benefits. And what we want to do is something my mentor always told me when I was first learning ads. Shout out to Zub. Was you want to sell the destination, not the plane ticket. What does that mean, right? You don't want to sell your services, because your services are a vehicle to getting your clients where they want to go. No one cares about the vehicle, they care about where they want to go, right? So for a marketing agency, you don't want to be explaining your service in depth. You don't want to be saying like, oh, we do Facebook ads, this is how we do it, we make sure that it's published at midnight and XYZ. Realistically, they don't care. They care about, is it going to save them time? Is it going to save them money? Is it going to be beneficial for their business? That's the main thing, right? So you want to be explaining the benefits, not the service. Same with home improvement companies, and same with service businesses and local businesses. You want to be explaining the benefit rather than the service. So once you've done that, what I also want you to do on that is link these benefits to the pain points. So if someone has said to you, you're thinking back about the past 5 to 10 quotes that you've done for people. If someone is coming, if your main kind of pain point is, I'm worried about the safety of my garden because it's, you know, there's lots of rough edges. I've got grandkids or whatever, right? That's a pain point. Or I you know, I want to improve my home's value, and I believe a new bathroom will do that, right? That's a pain point. Or yeah, and so on and so forth, right? If you can link your benefit to that pain, it's a positive reinforcement that you, as the service provider, not only know what your customer's pain point is, but you know how to solve it and you know how to get them to the other side, right? So if you can link your benefits to their pain points, it's going to work 10 times better than if you're just going to spout out random benefits and random pain points. Okay, so have a little think about it, see what you come up with, and really try and delve in deep into your customer's point of view. Then the last thing is a CTA, call to action. So this can be something like click the learn more, answer a few questions, and we'll be in contact, right? You want to hold their hand through the process, so you want to tell them where to go, what to do, and what to expect after they've done that, right? So click the learn more, answer a few short questions, and we'll be in contact. You've held their hand through that process. That's what you want to do. Now for headline, you want to include your offer. So whether that's percentage off or money off or, you know, free quotes or free consultation. I spell it right. Whatever it is, I always recommend putting your offer in the headline because then people can see straight off the bat. Okay, I get 20% off when I buy now, or I get a free quote when I fill in the details, right? And then the description. Recently, I've been putting click learn more to claim. The reason why I put this is because your description normally goes underneath the headline. And if you're putting something like click learn more to claim, it's again reinforcing, it's telling them again what to do, right? Again, with the CTA up here, it's telling them what to do, right? Because the whole thing about marketing, especially on Facebook and Instagram, you have to tell people what you want them to do. You want to hold their hand as much as possible through the process so they not only know what they're doing, they know what they're going to get out of the process and what it's going to look like in the next 24 hours, right? That's your whole objective. Now, you always want to do learn more. It just works the best. Don't ask me why. I think it's because it's the least committal out of everything on here. If you have a little look through here, I mean, subscribe. You almost assume you have to pay for something and download and, you know, whatever the case is. Learn more normally works the best. Now, enhancements, I would turn off overlays, visual touch-ups, and music. These because they're not quite refined yet. They're not quite as good as they should be. Music is because you can't choose what music shows up. So if you're targeting your ads in the UK in a rural village and you've got music coming from India, you can see where that might confuse people and might not represent your brand well enough, right? If you're really that fussed, get something like CapCut or another editing software. Just put in some music and do it that way. Now, text improvements and enhanced CTA, leave on. I like those because they're not actually changing anything about your ad. They're just more or less putting things that you've already put into your text in different locations. And as was mentioned earlier, the more control you can give to Facebook without Facebook, you know, running a mile, the better. Same with the broad targeting, right? That's giving Facebook control. If you can give Facebook control over things that you have control over, happy days, right? So keep on enhanced CTA and text improvements. It normally works better from what I've seen. And that is that. So remember, this is the structure. Please do not just put this, right? But yeah, this is the structure. I hope that is pretty much everything for you. You don't have to worry about tracking because we're doing Facebook lead forms. I think that is about it. Obviously, when you are finished, you can, let me go back in here quick. You can just come in here And if you need more ads, you can just duplicate this. Say you want 10 ads, you can just come in here and add 10 ads if it will load. Okay, it's not going to load. It will just come in here and you can duplicate them and whatnot. And then, yeah, we will go from there. Like I say, duplicate it. But yeah, once you're done, once you've made all the edits, come up to the top right and review and publish, right? Because then see the little 3 in the brackets, it'll publish it all at once rather than you having to keep publishing them individually. So just come up here, review and publish. Normally works the best. But yeah, I'll make another video on the importance of having a CRM and how to integrate Go High Level with Facebook and how to build out the automation so that you are notified when a new lead comes in and all that jazz. And I'll also make another video on detailing exactly what you need to follow, exactly what you need to keep track of with all of these different metrics. And there's plenty more, trust me. But yeah, I think that is it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will be coming with a new video tomorrow detailing how to integrate Go High Level with Facebook and how to set up the automations. But yes, I hope you have all enjoyed. If there's any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. I'll answer them as soon as I can. And yeah, any questions, give us a message on the socials and we'll go from there. But yeah, apart from that, have a good rest of your day and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you.